Welcome and thank you. I'd like to have our national anthem performed by WCA Graduation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Alicia. Welcome, family, community members, staff, students in our class of 2018. The audience may please be seated. It's my honor tonight to introduce Rebecca Teeples, our Executive Director, for our welcome address.
Good evening. Tonight we gather together to celebrate Windsor Charter Academy's first graduating class of seniors. 17 seniors stand as a testament of something remarkable, a reminder that we have opened the door for countless future graduates of our early college high school. We are so proud of our graduates. They represent our hope for the future. Collectively, this small group have accomplished many mighty things. We'd like to take a moment to recognize their accomplishments. We would like to recognize all of the students who have earned scholarships. Our graduates have received $26,000 in scholarships. Please stand if you received a scholarship. Thank you. We would also like to recognize our 4 students who received their associate degree. Please stand. Thank you. We'd like to recognize all of the students that have earned college credits while at Windsor Charter Academy. Our senior class collectively earned 549 college student credits. Now these are seniors that only had 3 years to complete those college credits. This averages out to roughly about 34 credits per student. The average cost nationwide for 1 college credit is $594. This averages out to a gift of $20,397 for each senior that graduated. Please stand if you received college credit. Thank you. We would like to recognize our students who are joining the military. Please stand. Thank you for your service. We would like to recognize our 5 students who are on Dean's List. These students have a cumulative GPA of 3.95 or above. Please stand. Thank you. We would like to recognize our 2 students who received honor roll. These students have a cumulative GPA between 3.6 and 3.79. Please stand. Thank you. We would like to also recognize our 4 National Honor Society students that uphold the pillars of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Please stand. Thank you. We would like to recognize our key bearer, Justin Rice. He was selected by his peers. The key bearer is a person that is an extraordinary example of the 8 keys of excellence and is the highest honor that a student can receive at Windsor Charter Academy. Justin, please stand. Thank you. This is a great reminder that if you haven't had the opportunity to turn off your phones, that you might want to do so. So each and every one of us have a defining moment in our lives. During special occasions such as this, many of us reflect on our lives and relive memories that shaped who we are. As I look back on my life, I can think of 2 defining moments that led me to this opportunity to share this night with you. One defining moment was when I was walking across the university campus the spring of my freshman year. I was a business major, and at that moment, that split moment, walking across, I realized that I needed to change my focus to an education major. There was nothing significant about that time or that day or the location, but it stuck with me and ultimately changed my course. The second defining moment was on February 21st, 2014. It was my first year as a principal of our K-8 school. I was attending an annual state conference and listened to an inspirational speaker talk about education. I knew then that we needed to rally together to build a high school for our students. That same vision was shared by a governing board and the governing board members from the following year as we prepared for this. If you were our governing board member that helped build this school, would you please stand? And that's over the course of the last several years, because it has taken 4.5 years to come to this moment. Please stand. I can share that we would not be here today without the hours and hours and hours that was spent by our board, our governing board, that led us to where we are today. This same vision, at that time we wrote a new charter and applied a few short months later. The journey for all involved was arduous and difficult, but as with defining moments, there is always a refining fire that follows. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You must do the thing that you think you cannot do." Those defining moments shape our lives. They give you the strength to get up after you fall, brush yourself off, and go on to fight another good fight. Our seniors here tonight have also had defining moments in their life. Tonight is a defining moment that will shape their lives forever. There has and will be refining fires that will occur in each of their lives that will arm them with strength, wisdom, and integrity. We are so excited to be part of their journey and a part of something momentous as we watch our young adults become contributors in our society. Stephen R. Covey shared that the overriding principle of societal trust is contribution. In 2005, Bill and Melinda Gates were recognized as Persons of the Year not for their talent, their skill, their innovation, productivity, or wealth, but for their investment in time and money to improve health, education, and the welfare of those less fortunate. Tonight, we cheer our young adults as they continue their path in learning, contributing, and developing dimensions in their life. To each of you, graduating seniors, be good stewards. Lead our futures. Lead our staff futures, lead our board futures, our administration's future, and our parents' futures. Our future is in your hands. Always remember the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. You must do the thing that you think you cannot do, and then great things will always follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Steeples. It's now my honor and my privilege to address and share some thoughts with you. Try to keep it brief. A pioneer is a person who is among the first to do something. Before embarking on their journey, anticipation will likely grow as pioneers envision the new adventures and the new opportunities that result from doing the things few others have done before them. That enthusiasm tends to wane as the reality of the hard work sets in. The first few years of our high school students at WCA, Early College High School, are pioneers. The pioneers that crossed the Great Plains encountered huge raging rivers, mountains, and endless plains like nothing they had seen on the East Coast. As these pioneers crossed the plains, when some saw the massive mountains, the rivers, and the endless dusty plains, they had a choice to make. They could either choose to look at these challenges as something to overcome, or as an insurmountable and something to complain about. Based on the accounts I've read, those that had the perspective of looking at it as a challenge to overcome and as an adventure fared far better than those that looked at these as insurmountable. Graduates, when things were tough, you chose the perspective to see things such as challenging chemistry class or biology course, literature class or an ICAP class, public speaking, as an adventure to make you stretch and as something that would aid in your personal growth. As the early astronauts were also pioneers. When things did not go right for Apollo 13, they could have chosen to waste their time in unproductive blaming of others and finger pointing towards the ground control or the design engineers. Instead, they worked together with the support of the crews to find solutions. Graduates, when things have been bumpy or unexpected, and I know there's been a lot of those over the last 3 years, and as we've built this new high school program together, you worked with others to find solutions. The pioneers of ancient Polynesia set out in the vast 62 million square miles of the Pacific Ocean in small outrigger sailboats. Their success in finding habitable islands and returning to those islands relied on the knowledge and skill of the navigators. These Polynesian navigators did not have the aid of compass, sextant, astrolabe, and hourglass. The early Polynesian navigators relied on reading the ocean currents, the movement of the clouds, the fishes of the sea, and the birds of the air, and the stars of the night sky. These guideposts allowed them to safely navigate the islands of the Pacific. In order for these navigators to accomplish this amazing feat at night, they did not sleep much, so they could keep a watchful eye on the stars as their guidepost. It's been said that the Hawaiian navigator can be recognized amongst his companion on a canoe by his bloodshot eyes from the lack of sleep. Some of our graduates can relate to the lack of sleep as they're cramming for exams. Graduates, you have kept your eye on the goal and have used the guideposts in your life, such as your family, your teachers, your friends, and the 8 keys of excellence to help you get to this point. Before embarking on a journey, pioneers have a growing anticipation as they envision the new adventures and new opportunities that will result from doing things others have not done. Some persevere and stay committed to their goal and remember the reason they initially set out on their journey. You have grown so much and are now prepared to take the lessons you have learned onto your future journeys. Let your decisions determine your destiny. Be like the pioneers of the Great Plains and have the attitude to find the opportunities and challenges. Be like the pioneers of space exploration. Be solution-oriented. Be like the pioneers of the Pacific. Use guideposts to direct your life's work. Graduates, you have become pioneers for the hundreds and thousands of WCA graduates that will follow in the years to come. Congratulations. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce our vocal performance, Breaking Free, performed by Blaine Atkinson and Allison Fraser, after which Sarah Chandler, our senior speaker, will address us, and then we'll have the honor to hear from our valedictorian. Is this one hot enough? Okay.
Running, climbing, Hello? Okay. I'd like to begin by giving a few shout outs. So first to our seniors, and then second to our juniors, and then third to all of our great supporters. So first, I'd like to give a shout out to the seniors because thank you for all the memories and for understanding that we're literally all in this together, that we all came from different schools, but we all had to end up working together. You guys really made charter like a good memory and just really understanding what it's like to have a good community. We always talked about how if we all went to a school the size of Windsor, there's no way the 17 of us all would have like come together and been friends. And so I'd like to thank Charter for that opportunity to just have a small group and like really get to know everyone. So then second, thank you to all the juniors. Are there any juniors here? Nerds in the corner, all right. So thank you because you guys were pretty much with us for freshman and sophomore year. We all started together, and so you guys can do it. You only have one more year. Woo! And it's okay, you guys can still jam out in the parking lot during lunch to Taylor Swift without us. Like, it's okay. We give you permission for that. We'll just be doing it over at college on our own. It's fine though. And lastly, to all of our great teachers and like admin and everyone, because without them fighting for like a high school, we wouldn't have all been here and gotten to know each other. I know that I've had a great support group from from Miss Mancina and Mr. Schreiner and just like everyone who helps with all sorts of things. We really couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you for all your hard work and just, yeah, it was great. So, thank you. Now Skylar is up for a word that I can't pronounce. Valid something or other.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here today to talk about our first graduating class of Windsor Charter Academy, the only thing I can say is wow, we finally made it. I know for a while a lot of us thought it would never end. But now we're sitting here in our fancy robes and hats looking like we just stepped out of a Harry Potter book. What many of us fail to realize is that school taught us so much about life. It's basically a mini world. Firstly, it taught us how to be a family. We all had our roles and you know where we fit in. We had the crazy uncle, the artsy kids, and those who spent more time at the gym than they did at actually school. So, just like in a family, we had people who left and we had people who joined. But they're no less our family than anyone else. Secondly, we learned about work and colleagues. This is the experience that we called group projects. This is how you really knew who people were. There were a couple different kind of people in group projects. You had those who came and did all the work, and then you had people who didn't show up till the actual presentation date. And then you always had that person who didn't even know what the topic was. Thirdly, it showed how truly idiotic we all are. One of which being the time that one of us, who will not be named, forgot the laws of thermodynamics, and that metal is very conductive. Let's just say sticking a paperclip in an outlet might not be the best idea. Although today we may be leaving, we're taking a piece of the school with us. We all have the memory of how the boys taught us how to drive safely by turning the parking lot into an obstacle course. And we can all remember fruit facts, editions 1, 2, and I actually have no idea how many there were. We all knew what would happen if Mr. Page said, "Hey, look, is that a bird?" and walked over to the window. I knew that not all of our memories of high school were all that good. We all went through many hard times, such as the tears we shed for the teachers who left, like Mr. Page and Mr. Kaler. We all knew how it felt to be going through a rough time at home and still having to come to school with a smile on your face. But as Hiraku Murakami says, no matter how much suffering you went through, you never want to get rid of those memories. Our memories are what bond us as a class. No matter how many times we have cried and laughed, we will never get rid of the memories that we had together. Today we leave the school, but we will never leave each other. This is not the end of the memories that we all created here, but simply the beginning of a lifetime of memories that we still have to create. Although we will be going in different directions, we still carry pieces of each other in the memories that we share. This quote by Ama Ada Aido says it perfectly. Humans, not places, make memories. We will make new friends, make new memories, but we will never forget the friends we have right here and now, and the memories we will forever share. One day we'll go to school reunions decades from now, and we'll still laugh over the same shared memories, our pains and troubles behind us. Wondering what happened to the time when the most irritating part of your day was hearing your alarm clock go off only seconds after you closed your eyes. And as I end the speech, look to your left and look to your right at your fellow graduates, your friends, and your family. Today is not goodbye, for we will never truly leave these people or this place. We will forever carry them in our hearts, in our minds, and in our memories. Keep in touch, for this is not goodbye, it's just another shared memory.
Good evening. I feel like I can't see over. I'm sorry. I can stand over here. Should have gotten a stool. Okay, so at some point, over the last 3 years, most of you have spent a little time in my office, right? Maybe it was because you had low grades. Maybe it was because you made some poor choices, right? Maybe it was just because you were having a really rough day and just needed somewhere to go for a few minutes. Or maybe it was because you were going through a major life event and needed to talk to somebody about it and sit and reflect even for a few hours. But hopefully, as all of you have been in my office at one point or another, you saw an important word that I have on top of my bookshelf. What was that, Kyle? He said moxie. He got it. So there's an important word, moxie. So do you guys know what moxie really means? Maybe, maybe not. So let me give you a few examples and see if you can figure it out. So Julia had a lot of moxie when she made the decision to move from Italy to the United States as a 17-year-old and finish her last year of high school here. Kyle had a lot of moxie when he made the decision to take some ownership over his education and actually made honor roll during his senior year. Rosario had a lot of moxie when she started a new school her senior year, needing 8.5 credits to graduate, and she completed all of those credits in 1 year. April and Stephanie had a lot of moxie when they overcame some obstacles to move in with new families as teenagers. Skylar, Joanna, Sarah, and Chloe, you showed tremendous moxie by earning your associate's degree as a high school student. Mrs. Teeples and our board of directors also showed moxie when they had an idea a few years ago to start an early college high school. Others of you in the senior class showed moxie when you were struggling with depression or anxiety and reached out for help. You showed moxie when you saw your friends making some bad decisions and you asked for advice on how to not follow in their path. You showed moxie when you had the courage to take a college course overload in order to earn your associate's degree. You showed moxie when you didn't want to come to school or didn't want to complete that assignment or didn't want to ask for help, but you did it anyway. Having moxie doesn't mean avoiding challenges. Having moxie means that you approach those challenges head on with spirit and energy and excitement. And that's why that word is so important to me. It's not about avoiding those challenges, but approaching it with a different attitude. And I promise you in the next stage of your life, you will encounter obstacles, but my hope is that you show us your true moxie and face those obstacles with courage and grace. So I've included a reminder in your little baskets there of moxie. So I'm hoping that somewhere this definition and this word will support you when you are going through some challenges in your life. And you can put it on a mirror in your college dorm or in your car somewhere. But I hope it reminds you to approach those life challenges with that moxie. So thank you, class of 2018, for making me love my job at WCA. We will all miss you, but know that you will always have a home at WCA with people who care tremendously about you. And at this time, we have a special rose ceremony where our graduates will be entering into the audience to show some appreciation for those who have helped them on their path to graduation.
So now my honor to introduce our salutatorian for the presentation of the diplomas. Mrs. Joanna Shoemate.
Alright, now, corner is Scotty Ryan. Stephanie Champa. Sarah Chandler. Carly Charbonneau. Rosario Flores. Jordan Garcia. Colin James. Joel Klimmer. Maya Meadows. Chloe Milliken. Julia Redrick. Justin Rice. Kyle Tickler. And then Caleb Wilson.
It's now my honor to introduce our board president for the presentation of the seniors, Samuel Penn.
All right. Well, I had to bring a bottle of water up here because, well, the rest of this went so fast. You guys left me a ton of time to speak. So go ahead and get comfortable, get ready. Everybody enjoy yourselves. I must say that I have to atone for our first early arrival here to the stage this evening. As a high school senior myself, my class, we chose to arrive about an hour late for ours. So I had to atone in some way by arriving a little early at this one. So that's my attempt at making up for that effort. I must start this speech by saying that it is an amazing honor this evening for me to be in front of all of you, representing our executive board this evening. I would also like to recognize Superintendent Dan Sigmuller, who's also joined us on the stage this evening to recognize our seniors. As you're already aware, my name is Sam Penn. I'm the proud father of twin fourth graders, and I'm also very fortunate to have the opportunity to represent you all as your board president. Tonight, I've been asked to prepare a speech for you that addresses the turning of the tassels. The turning of the tassels is a symbolic gesture for our graduates, identifying that they have transitioned from the status of candidate to graduate. For us at Windsor Charter Academy, this is obviously our first opportunity to participate in this tradition, and I feel that this has some additional meaning to us. Our turning of the tassels also represents the commitment of each of our graduates and the effort they have put into action regarding our vision statement. Graduates, as students, each of you has completed the numerous challenges you have been presented with. And I believe that you have been educated, empowered, and equipped to reach your highest potential through your next series of adventures. Each of you took a leap of faith by attending Windsor Charter Academy and seeing it through to this day, your graduation day. In doing so, you have brought us closer as a community and educated us about what it takes to make our schools successful. As Executive Director Teeples has already mentioned, your academic and extracurricular accomplishments are truly amazing. It is through your efforts that we, as a community, can visualize the additional ways in which you have been educated. I was fortunate enough to have had the opportunity to experience one of these additional educational opportunities through our senior capstones. The concept of perseverance was presented to me as it related to a student giving his presentation. I am hopeful that he learned something through his presentation method as well. Perhaps when you drink a bottle of hot sauce prior to delivering a presentation, it is best served to have a glass of water or milk somewhere nearby. Through your accomplishments, it is clear to me that you have been empowered through your experiences at WCA. What you may not know now is that you have already had an impact, and you have now empowered me. I must admit, when I was first asked to speak about this graduating class, I was a bit hesitant and a little bit uncertain of what I would say. But as I wrote this speech and I rewrote it, well, and I gotta be honest, I wrote it again, I realized that, you know what, it has nothing to do with the words I say. It has to do with these students that are sitting in front of us today. Through their hard work, their drive, their determination, their dedication, and their passion for learning, we have this opportunity to celebrate your successes. There are a number of members in our WCA community in the audience tonight looking upon you proudly as each one of you represents countless hours of time, effort, and energy invested to make this day come true. As a community, we are thankful and grateful for each of you and the courage you have displayed to achieve above and beyond the common standard. The one component of our vision that I feel is most strongly represented here tonight is that each of you are now equipped to achieve to your highest potential. Having had the opportunity to achieve above and beyond the standard experience, you are now fully equipped to follow, lead, and more importantly, define your path. Through your accomplishments, each of you has now set the bar for all of those who must follow. You have taken the path less traveled, establishing one for all others to follow and aspire to become better than. As you take this next step, I want to remind you that your education will continue well past the walls and halls of this school. Through your current path and whatever one you may choose next, you will always be responsible for the foundation upon which WCA was established. As a member of our WCA family, I hope you look back at your time and remember that you are not only part of a legacy, but you have truly established one. Now, I'd like to ask all of our graduating seniors to please rise, turn, and face the audience. Please make sure your tassels are correctly associated to the right. And if you would, as tradition leads, please move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your caps. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the first ever Windsor Charter Academy graduating class. You are now officially graduates. Pursue greatness and be epic.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and feel free to join us for a reception.
I love Windsor Charter Academy just because it's really challenging for me, and they always work to try to get me to do my best.
I like being challenged as a student because it makes me think about my grades harder, and it makes me want to work harder and become better.
I feel like I'm at home and everybody is so welcoming to me.
It's been a really wonderful thing because kids get to do what they love.
So Windsor Charter Academy music department and their theater department they're a fantastic place for students to come and get experience.
It's important to a student as far as having the athletic program available to them to learn the life lessons through achievement, through hard work, developing work ethic, which will carry on through their life as well.
One of the best things about WCA is the early college program. It's a great opportunity for students to earn not only their associate's degree, but their high school diploma at the same time.
I like how we can gain our associate's degree here at Windsor Charter, so we are always challenging each other.
Our school leadership is committed to providing the support necessary to make Windsor Charter Academy the most ideal learning environment it possibly can be.
It's immersive and you get to see how this could be used in your life.